Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. We're currently almost towards the end of October, and I still have plenty of fall, autumn, spooky-ish things I want to do before our fabulous, most wonderful time of the year ends. So since I've got a lot on my agenda this week, and I figured I could take y'all along with me while I give you reading updates and maybe see if I could try to squeeze in some fall activities that I didn't do already on my trip to New Hampshire and Maine. So my reading for October so far has been a weird eclectic mix of what's been on my fall TBR and just whatever I could get my hands on. Like, there's been little stuff thrown in between my TBR, but I am trying to stick to it because we stick to our TBRs here for the most part. Anyway, so what I'm currently reading right now are two books. Yeah, so I'm currently audiobooking Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. I have like about maybe 3 hours left. So when I first described this to y'all, I said like, okay, this is very much going to be like the Atlas 6 in a lot of ways. It's a little different. So you've got 6 kids at this academy in Purgatory that they're all dead teenagers who are brought to the school in the afterlife to take classes on magic, and they're all sorted in different houses, and they go and do reaping duties out in what's called the ether. So every 10 years or so, there's this decennial where somebody gets nominated to go and complete these trials to celebrate their magic. But this year, the trial's a competition, and they're thrown in with other classmates of theirs to essentially compete for the final spot. But of course, things go awry, and secrets are revealed, and there's a little bit of romance here and there. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'm enjoying this. Like, again, I have 3 hours left to go. I'm just gonna finish it, but I don't know. This has not been a favorite of mine. Like, I don't see an interest in continuing the series just because I don't know if the writing is 100% spectacular. Like, I like the trial parts. Like, those competition elements, super cool and spooky. I like it. But literally, when it comes to like the character development and the dialogue, it's not strong. And I really have tuned out like some parts of it, even though like some parts are critical. I'm like, I just don't care. So, like I said, I know I'm gonna finish it. It's just like, again, like I'm kind of disappointed in it because I really had high hopes for this one. But that's why we're also starting Blood on Her Tongue by Johanna van Veen. So this is a historical horror that's set in the Netherlands in the 1800s. So this follows a pair of twins, Lucy and Sarah. And Sarah's fallen down sick after discovering a body found in her husband's bog. So Lucy goes to visit her sister, and it either could be madness or it could be vampires. Either way, people are already starting to get bit in this story. And we're only 40 pages in. So this has been very fun. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, no, again, I've only am in the baby stages of it. I didn't really get much of an opportunity to read this for the past couple days. I know I've been trying to read here and there, but that was my goal for this weekend because my sister and I are going to be hopefully trying to watch and finish the entire series of Midnight Mass on Netflix, which it's about vampires, so there we go. So yeah, that's kind of what I've got going on for me. I need to get some coffee in my system because my brain is still not awake yet, and I know I gotta get ready for work soon, but I figured I could probably read my book, drink some coffee, get some breakfast into me, and then when we get home tonight, we'll come up with a fun plan for whether I watch a spooky movie or if I continue to read this book, or we'll figure it out. So, good morning, and let's get started. Hello! I have just finished eating dinner, and I have been also listening to the audiobook of, I almost said the Atlas 6, oh my lord. Immortal Consequences, that's the book I'm on, not the Atlas 6. Although, I'd rather be listening to the Atlas 6 again. Just saying. Yeah, so I'm like literally at the 90% mark. I think I'm most likely gonna finish it tomorrow or some point this weekend. I don't know when yet, but I still have enough Spotify time to listen to my audiobook for that, so we're gonna get it done. Believe it or not, I don't really have much of an update for. We're still in the baby stages as to what's going on with that story, but I'm still very much looking forward to continuing onward with that, because some crazy things have happened so far and have really moved me. So I'm super excited to keep going with that. So my plans for this evening are, I think I might watch a horror movie, either something that I'm gonna rewatch because it's a comfort classic, or I might try and find something I haven't watched yet, whether it's an older movie or newer. I'm thinking I might go with either Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow or Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Hear me out. That has been on my watch list for quite some time, and I still have not watched it. I know it's silly because I know originally, if I'm remembering my history correctly for the whole Halloween franchise, that I think they had tried to make it in an anthology, and I think the third one kind of panned out in theaters, so that's why they went back to the Michael Myers storyline. Halloween fans, if you're watching this video, please tell me if I'm correct or not. But yeah, no, but even then, I still kind of found myself intrigued with the premise of Season of the Witch. And I know there's a famous pumpkin mask scene too, so I think I'm really kind of itching to watch that this evening, so I've got to find a way to either somehow rent it or see if I can find it on a streaming service and go for it from there. So I want to do that, probably just like make myself a tea or a warm cider or something. Good morning and happy Saturday. So I know it's a little bit early, it's like 7:30. I'm hoping to get this read a little bit more before I go off to my meeting, because I'm part of like a social group for sorority stuff for alumni women that are out of college, and it's a panhellenic group, so I've got to head off to that meeting for my group later today. But I want to take some time to read this Blood on Tongue because I did not get a chance to last night. But before I do so, guys, Halloween 3, what the heck happened? Oh my god! Okay, I don't think I'm gonna shut up about this for a while, because that actually was quite the movie of twists and turns. I mean, is it the best acted? I don't know, but I think the storyline itself definitely kept me on pins and needles. If you're new to the Halloween franchise and want to try something different from the Michael Myers storyline, I would highly encourage it. Just fair warning, it is very body horror heavy, and if you are not a fan of bugs or snakes, just viewer beware, you're in for a scare. Okay, yeah, so that's my opinion on Season of the Witch. And then also, I forgot to mention that I ended up watching another movie on, I think it was Wednesday night. Okay, so oddly enough, we know how we got the big Snow White film this year. Well, there's a B horror movie independent version of Snow White that also came out this year called The Death of Snow White. I watched that on Tubi on Wednesday. That actually was surprisingly good. It was surprisingly good. I mean, was it the best made movie ever? No, but it's not supposed to be Hollywood level. It's an independent movie, guys. But it was still fantastic. I got weepy at certain parts, and oh my god, the horror in that. Whew. Yeah, good. It was, yay. Kudos to all of you who made Death of Snow White. I'm gonna root for y'all going for it because I sincerely applaud you for making something like the Terrifier level movies, and you accomplished it. So hats off to all of you, seriously. I'm so proud. Anyway, yeah, so 2 actually quite good horror movies this week. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to be watching Midnight Mass with my sister, hopefully. Hopefully we finish it tonight. If not, then we'll probably pick it up at some point later in the week. Don't know yet, we'll figure that out. But other than that, I need to wake up. I need to get some breakfast in my system before I leave, and I need some time to read this book, so ciao. Alright, hello again. I've just gotten back from my event a few minutes ago, so that was a very fun meeting. It was nice to connect with the ladies from Panhellenic again, so we're all very excited for the upcoming year, but today's presentation was about color analysis. So I know I've heard the term being passed around a little bit, but not so much to the full extent of what was presented today. So that was a very great presentation. I might consider doing a appointment for myself because the woman who was doing the presentation, she kind of noted, I was like, oh, you're kind of a hybrid of things. We'll need to touch on that later. I'm like, what? Yeah, so I grabbed her business card. I'm hopefully gonna see if I can try to book myself something, hopefully within the future, maybe do it as like a Christmas present to myself, just to kind of see where I'm at on the color analysis scale. But that was fun. Right now, I'm just getting myself ready again because I'm going to go spend some time with my sister this evening. We're going to, like I said, watch Midnight Mass on Netflix, and then we're also going to do a little fall meal together to welcome in the soon coming up Halloween next Friday. I'm very, 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 very excited for that. So before I get myself going, I need to run some dishes, at least get that started, so that way when I get home I can unload it, or I can save it until morning. We'll figure it out from there. But also, I'm almost done with Immortal Consequences. I think I only have like less than 30 minutes left of that, and I know I'm kind of cutting a little bit close because I know I'm almost hitting the limit on my Spotify listening hours. Worst case, if my Spotify time runs out for the audiobook, then I'll just finish Immortal Consequences for the physical book. Instead, either way, not to worry, we're gonna get it figured out, but I gotta get my chores done before I go hang out with my sis, so I will catch up with y'all later. Hello everyone, good morning. It's now Sunday, so this is probably going to be our last day together, but I just want to give you a quick update as to what was going on. So I've been spending most of my morning editing my New England fall trip video, so I finally got that to export and upload because my computer was just giving me a really hard time, probably for like the past hour. Yeah, don't even get me started. So that should hopefully be up by the time that you see this video, so please go check that out. And that's that. I'm starting to work on some laundry. I'm probably gonna get some more cleaning done. But last night, so my sister and I, we had a great time last night. We ran out and did some chores together before we came back to her place, and we started watching Midnight Mass, so I'm probably about like 3 to 4 episodes into that right now. It is a little slow for my particular taste, but my sister has said that the ending does pay out and it really adds all up together, so I'm willing to keep going with it. I'm very intrigued to see what happens next. So it's crazy so far, but I like it. The other thing that I did last night was, oh my gosh, finally finished Immortal Consequences. This, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, this was kind of disappointing. I had such high hopes for this one because it very much was compared to the Atlas 6 and a little bit of Hunger Games, I guess. A little bit of Divergent as well, maybe. I don't know, but this just wasn't doing it for me. I was just counting down the minutes until I could be done with this. But I will say I did like some of the characters in this story, and like I explained earlier, that I did enjoy the element of the trials in this book. It just, unfortunately, I felt like it played into way too many young adult fantasy and dystopian tropes that I was just not really a fan of, and I'm like, okay, whatever, and I don't know, this wasn't hitting home for me, so I ended up giving this one 3.25 stars as my official rating. So I'll probably give a more detailed review in wherever I post my book review, so that is that as well. So I think for today, like I said, I finally got my video to play nice with me and upload. So I'm gonna spend some time probably doing some cleaning, and then probably like around noon I have a Pilates class that I'm doing over Zoom with some of the fantastic women that I've done all my trips with to Europe so far. So a few of us are going to be getting together to do a little like hour-long Pilates class, and then I'm probably going to spend some time reading Blood on Our Tongue because I need to keep going with that. And then I'll probably going to maybe start on getting this video edited so that way I could hopefully try to get this up before Halloween, fingers crossed. So we're gonna do that, and yeah, I'll try to keep y'all updated when I can. So happy Sunday. Before I jump into anything else crazy, do y'all remember when I was talking about the Death of Snow White and how I had watched that? Look at that. Look at that right there. Okay, yeah, sorry. I had to fangirl about that for a second. So, yeah, because they posted something saying like, oh yeah, that it's available on streaming platforms. I was like, hey, I watched it! Really cool movie! And yeah, that's how they responded back. So yeah, shout out to that team, thank you. Just a quick preference, this isn't sponsored by them or the studio in any way. This is just me sharing my own opinions, and they were very just kind enough to respond to my comment about such. So thank you to them again, yeah. Yeah, that was something cool that happened, but other than that, I just finished taking my bath. I worked on some laundry. I'm still working on some laundry. And I did my Pilates class. A little tough today, but it was okay. So I know what I need to work on for next time that we go and do this. And I've been reading, where's my book? More of Blood on Her Tongue. So yeah, things are getting super intense. can't talk about this without spoiling it. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, maybe I might have to save my comments and discussions about what's happening here. Maybe for another video, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff is happening here that I don't know if I can really talk about without spoiling this book. So, all I could say is, my goodness, and I'm disturbed in the best way possible. Yes, that's the best way to describe it. So, very much looking forward to keep going with this. I know I just felt really bad because I really do want to keep going with this. I just know there's been times where I literally just did not have the energy to, or I just ran out of time to, so I'm definitely going to take some time to do that before I go and get dinner with my family in a couple hours, because I'm going to be going over to their place for food, so I would hopefully like to keep going with this before that happens. But probably one more thing that I want to do with y'all before we part ways and I keep going with this. So, one second. Now that I'm actually at a slightly better angle, so y'all can see this, I have some books here in my hot little hands that I am just ready to part ways with because they just do not bring me joy anymore. And I don't need to hold on to them. So, we're just going to kind of go down. I think first things first, like, we obviously already know, Immortal Consequences. I did this one through audiobook. I don't necessarily need to hold on to the physical copy, and I really think I need to hold on to this, so that is parting ways with me. And then this one, The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. This is one that I read at the end of September. I didn't care for this. Even though parts of it were very well done, I just wasn't a fan, so that is leaving us as well. And then You Belong Here. This is one I read at the beginning of September. I think in the September vlog. Yeah, I read this in the September vlog, and this just did nothing for me. Alright, next one. I really hate to say that this has got to go, but Overgrowth by Mira. I was really looking forward to this one this year, and I ended up being extremely disappointed by it. And I think it was just, the build-up was too slow, and plus this just reminded me too much of the Parasitology trilogy that I read earlier this year, and I think it may just be because I read it so close to this that I could see the similarities. But either way, I think, I don't know, I just didn't like the narration, I didn't like the pacing, and it just felt way too much of a carbon copy of Parasite. That is the reason why that book is going. Oh good god. Okay. Then next one we have is The House Across the Lake. Riley Sager's lakeside mystery book that felt like a Riverdale plot. I will not elaborate further. And then the last one is a more recent one that I got, that I read earlier this month. This is Tell 'Em You Lied by Laura Leffler. This was a art history themed, not art history, this one takes place at an art school, and this is following two girls throughout their college days leading up to 9/11 and the mystery of where one of the girls ends up going. Is she dead? Did she get kidnapped? What's going on? I wanted it to go in a different direction than what it ended up being, and I understood the points that I was trying to make, but it felt too cookie cutter to what's already out there, and I think that's what really disappointed me more than anything. So I'm perfectly fine with letting someone else read this and formulate their own opinions. So, okay, actually one more, hang on. Last one that I have, I'm really sad about this one too, is The Teller of Small Fortunes. I tried reading this over the summer, and I think I probably maybe got to about 60 pages. The writing was just not doing it for me. And I just could not will myself to keep going. And even when I took time off from it, I knew right away I just did not want to pick it up again. So unfortunately this will be going as well, but my sister will be adopting this book. So I'm very fortunate for that. So shout out to my sister for taking it off my hands. So yeah, those are all the books that I'm going to have to unhaul, unfortunately, but sometimes you gotta unhaul some stuff to get it out of your life. So that is my update for right now. I am going to keep working on my laundry. I'm probably gonna start uploading this footage so that way I can hopefully start editing that this week, and I'm going to read my book until I have to go off to spend time with my family. Oh my god. I think that's the only way I can describe this book is, oh my god. Like, there's moments that are so disturbing, whether it's body horror, weird dynamic in relationship stuff. I don't know. This is definitely very grotesque and very body shivering kind of stuff, but in a good way because it's written well. So this book has me shook. Oh no, I'm losing it. Okay.